Here today, the Tobi Johnson, friend, colleague, mentor, extraordinary thought leader, and person in the field. And I'm a big believer in going back to the fundamentals in music, in art, in any creative craft. But what do you think would be maybe some Tuesday tips of the few things that are most important to get in this fundamentals course, or that you see as really success stories with cohorts coming out of volunteer management fundamentals?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. What has shifted in the world now is really, not everything we thought we needed to know or we needed to spend all of our time and energy on is the most important when it comes to engaging volunteers. One of the things, and none of this is really new news, I would say. Like, Mark Hager and Jeff Bredney
Hmm.
did these very well-known academicians that were so pro-volunteer and did research way back when that was so accessible for all of us. And they found out really early on that the key to retention had nothing to do with like the paperwork
Right.
side of
What forms got
volunteerism.
filled out? Yeah.
Yeah, what our application looks like or
Right.
what our processes are, our internal paperwork processes. And yet, we still spend a lot of time and energy on those. And we think that means that's our fundamentals. Yes, we do need to figure out. I always say, your volunteer position description is actually a marketing tool. So let's convert it into a real marketing tool.
Right.
Like, let's include testimonials. Let's put some more. So it functions the way we're using it versus, what we think it should look like an employee job description, which I don't think it should. So I think when we think about what we think fundamentals really are, I think fundamentals are more about the people side now.
Hmm.
That's the trend that's happening. So what is the people side about? Well, there's two things. Obviously, interpersonal and leadership skills, but there's also this other piece that allows you to have time to do that, and that is boundary setting. And so being able to to say, no, actually, I can't do more with less. I actually only have so many hours in the day. So let's start to prioritize and start. So these are like small acts of bravery in some cases, but also just acts of leadership and being that internal consultant inside your org. Even if you've only been on the job for a few months, you still are in charge of the volunteer strategy. That's what I think is shifting. We're shifting the pendulum back to more of the people side, but that also means more leadership skill than just figuring out how to create paperwork, now, that doesn't mean we're not process oriented and we're not thinking design, like the onboarding process and the design of onboarding. The third week of our 90-day volunteer recruitment roadmap course that we're just about to launch into our third week is entirely about onboarding because I don't want folks to do all this recruitment and then lose those volunteers through early churn. And so really thinking about those leadership skills and the processes that we hope people gain and maintain momentum through as they're serving and making an impact. So, we have people who go through our courses. I'm just about to revamp the entire course
Hmm.
because of all these shifts. And I've had people who are brand new volunteer managers, and I've had people who've been in the field for 10 years take the volunteer management fundamentals course. I have our impact lab members who get half off, so it's a pretty easy lift for them. They'll come back and take the course, and I'll say, you can learn these things inside the impact lab. And they'll say, no, I like the cohort
Hmm.
experience. I like being with a group. I like moving through with a group. And I've had folks come back to me and say, you know what, I still learn, even though I've been in the field forever, I've still learned things from you that are different than what I would have learned elsewhere or what I thought I was going to learn.
I think it's important also the idea of a cohort and the shared wisdom in the room that we're always learning from
Hmm.
each other. So there's, a well-designed course. You're known for excellent adult education design as well. I think that's part of your reputation. So I think those as Tuesday tips of what we need to get back to as fundamentals are really, really helpful. So thank you for those.